Good morning, everybody. Greg Schleter again, post-run walk-off, and I am continuing to listen to Joe Rogan. And some of you may ask the question, given the attention economy, which is a phrase that I'm learning from TRISTAN Harris in the episode I'm listening to, he's behind The Social Dilemma. You all need to watch this with your kids, The Social Dilemma, just take my word for it. Anyways, in the attention economy, which means what? That there's only so many hours in the day, and what are we giving our attention to? And that really defines, or what motivates all of the big tech companies. They're competing for our attention, and they're building into their algorithms and platforms things that are hooking us at levels that we're not even aware of. You know, neurological, social, behavioral scientists aren't simply exercising their expertise to help humanity. They are being hired to help these big tech companies addict us, if you will. So anyways, I'm listening to Joe Rogan because I believe we need to be attuned to the heart of humanity, and that may mean enduring F words and languages and practices and all of that, with a belief that Matthew 28, go into the world and make disciples. How can we reach people and engage them if we don't understand what makes them tick? And let's not even be arrogant or hubristic about that. I'm learning about myself. I'm being blessed and in a sense evangelized by the authenticity in certain areas of connectivity that they exhibit. The title of this podcast is, Will Humanity Reclaim Autonomy from the Machines? What movie does that sound like? Will humanity reclaim autonomy from the machines? Arnold Schwarzenegger, ring a bell? So anyways, as I'm thinking about this, I know many of you are seeing what seems to be like a big tech, big business, political, manufactured media, all ordered to purging us, humanity, of, shall we say, godly ideals or values. And let's just face it, there are many who are radicals, who are not anchored in God's love. We do not align ourselves with them in any way, shape, or form. But seems to be we feel helpless now in the tide of this politics turning, and many are accordingly shutting down their Facebook and Twitter pages. Before you do, I just offer you this thought. I want you to go back with me in our imaginations to the 2nd chapter of Acts, where Christ had risen from the dead powerfully after his tremendous ministry on earth, of healing the sick, raising the dead, and his followers were in the room upstairs. We know what happens. It might be good to go back and read the 2nd chapter of Acts. In summary, the Holy Spirit fell as if tongues of fire appearing upon them. They heard one another as if in their own language. Peter proclaimed boldly the gospel, the truth of our nature. Who is Peter? Nobody knew him in political realms or necessarily religious realms. He was a man of no consequence. But he's proclaiming the gospel, and thousands were converted that day. And that was the seed that ignited a fire that changed the world. Yes, challenged. Yes, hypocrisy. Yes, all the things that mire humanity, that are in me, that are in you, in spite of our proclamation. That central theme of our desire to be loved and to love, revealed in Jesus, took hold in the Holy Spirit, and they broke out. So here's my question. What if instead of breaking out from that encounter with Christ, they stayed in their comfortable cells? They only hung out with people like themselves. They only stayed in their own hood. What if they didn't use every platform and capacity they could have, even for fear of persecution and death, to communicate Jesus Christ? Let me conclude here by saying I believe in the indomitable power of the good and the true. And every opportunity that I have to communicate that, Facebook, Twitter, wherever it may be, as long as I'm given a platform to communicate that and try to communicate that truth, and yes, there are difficult issues we got to talk about, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it until they take it away, because that's why I'm on this earth. If we're allowing the machines to take control, if we're allowing pixels to dominate persons, perhaps we have not encountered the ultimate human person. Check us out at ilovemyfamily.us. Blessed to be on the journey.